fly far enough for me. 'Cause you know you can't take it with you, honey. All you can take is your memories.
Help, divers? That was The Eagle Flies on Friday by Headcat, as requested by Jacob Irving 8999, who has this lovely habit of bringing me the very best and most unique audible treats. This one struck me with elements of the blues, late 70s rock, and honestly it sounded like that vocalist very much wanted to be Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead, but was somehow even more gravelly. So, the top news of the night is that the major order has been completed by both the squid and bug divers at more or less the same time, and High Command is pleased with the amount of blood that has been spilled. Good job, everybody. This success has borne unexpected fruit, and some special projects are allowed to move forward. On New Haven, atmospheric reseeding operations have commenced, and preliminary reports show that the algae cultures are successfully neutralizing the residual ash, making the first steps towards a breathable atmosphere once again. Let that be a lesson to you, Squidward. You're knocked super Earth down, we get the fluff right back up again. I am told that this is only the first installment of justice that we can look forward to, and every single payment from now on will be collected on time with interest until the word Illuminate is said in the same way as smallpox, the dodo, and phone books. All things that aren't around anymore. In other news from the galactic sphere, the Terminate assault on Terek never stood a chance, and Buggy got smushed under the roll-up newspaper of democracy in a complete shutout. There was more than a 50% difference in liberation versus insectoid tyranny values on the planet. They got destroyed out there. However, the same cannot be said for Ein 5, where Desi's Eagle Storm unexpectedly ran out of gas less than an hour after my morning broadcast speaking on the topic. Desi is still holding position in orbit, but the planetary defenders are requesting reinforcements urgently. If they can manage to get another 10% of the Liberation fleet helping them out, they'll probably be able to secure the win here, but it is going to be really close. Looking at things on a larger strategic scale, the GQZ is actually looking pretty darn decent these days, with Inari, Alta 5, Volterra, Crucible, and Karamort defended during the Major Order last week, and Krakatu and Nobleria 1 reclaimed this week. If the bug divers can reclaim Slif and Veld, that'll put the Terminated Quarantine Zone in the best place it's been in since January. If things keep going the way that they have been, we could be making some strikes into the worlds of the Borgus sector, trim back the Falstaff sector, or get really crazy and snatch Estanu back. Honestly, all good steps towards launching another expedition into the gloom and seeing what those nasties have been cooking up in there. We could always do with more E710. Meanwhile, things are in a similarly good place with the automaton excessively militarized zone, but it's been very quiet in there ever since we slapped their specialist units around with democratic ease. Their planned attempt to open a new FTL lane from the Valdis sector into Gellert on the northern periphery failed. Their aggressive attempts towards the galactic interior have been trimmed back like an unruly hedge, and they have made no attempts to expand their far western frontier. Prevailing wisdom says that this would be an excellent time to sue for peace because of the lull in the fighting, but the mainframe has betrayed every single agreement, ceasefire, or diplomatic arrangement that it has ever made with any organic ever, and I'm not an idiot, though my hair color might suggest otherwise. So, the war will likely drag on for another 500 days, at the very least. In news from Gunvald's perpetually on fire region of space, Legion diver forces began a ground assault today in somewhat nauseating numbers. seriously, they got a lot of dudes out there on the front lines. The Legion has since secured air superiority thanks to a supercarrier in low orbit acting as a rally and refueling point, and I do believe that my pals from the refuge might be able to do something about that. Since then, the Legion has pushed towards the megacity of Rokla Landing despite the best efforts of the Gunvold military. Efforts are being made toward the evacuation of the megacity before the Legion's arrival, but these kinds of towns have people packed in like sardines, and reports are that difficulties are being had getting civilians moving. Fortunately, some relief may soon be on the horizon. It was made clear to me today, in no uncertain terms, that the wolf divers of the 104th are eager to tear a chunk off the Legion and have agreed to join the fight. I have also received word that the Chlorine Corps is looking for a few new test subjects for the next line of chemical weapons, so enjoy those nice, lovely breaths of fresh air while they last, Legion divers. The next one might be your last. As for my part, well, I can't let slip any details. I don't believe in spoiling the show before the curtain is drawn back, but I've been working at a few things, a new style of warfare, and I am prepared to unleash its full might tomorrow morning. Leave that supercarrier to us, Gunvold. You have my word that the skies will be yours again by my broadcast tomorrow morning. Why am I getting involved? Simple. I don't like bullies. All that being said, let's take a look at my generosity tracker, which I am certain has changed since I took these images. As far as donations go, we sit comfortably at $52,641 US, which is just absolutely mind-blowing since that is over 12 times our original goal. And as far as auctions go, the collective bids are up to $23,051 for a combined total of $75,962. Our graphics lead, Chechen, crushed the numbers on this. For this amount of money, we could ship 1,232 food parcels, give 9,857 children a month of safe water, treat 1,971 kids with life-saving antibiotics, send 98 mobile clinics into remote villages, deliver 938 emergency shelter kits, equip 657 children to keep learning, and fund 151 volunteer months of community health work. There is not a single or in there. Alliance Operation Heroes proceeds can do all of that. It's D, all of the above. This is literally helping thousands upon thousands of children in need, and you all should feel very proud. You have well and truly earned that cape. Heck, even the Chaos Divers are getting in on the action. I know, right? No, there's no cheap joke at their expense here. Game recognizes game. The Council of Five has greenlit Operation Ladybug in conjunction with Alliance Operation Heroes. The primary objective of Operation Ladybug is the acquisition of critical resources to alleviate strain on overcapacity medical facilities. To that end, they are collecting 1,000 super samples, 3,500 rare samples, and 5,000 common samples, which will be traded for galactic currency in various denominations, and said currency will be partially donated to the wider relief effort, demonstrating the Chaos Divers' capacity to provide for those outside of Super Earth's sphere of influence. The second part of this Chaos Order dictates that Choepessa 4, Hydrobius, and Slif are to be hit. There are several private residences of the wealthy located therein, protected from, and possibly by, various alien empires via potent defense grids, armed guards, and remote locations. Shadowy helpers? You're gonna loot them. Eat the rich, and bon appetit, my friends. I gotta say, ever since Chaos had that change of hats, they are really coming across with this lovely Robin Hood class warfare angle, and I am 100% all for it. This new guy in charge, Crash, I am very fond of him. With this one move, the CDs have completely turned my opinion of them around. They even have a video up on SuperTube for their Chaos Order with a very professional look, link in the description below. I'll be following his career with great interest. I will, however, not stop making cheap jokes at your expense, Chaos Divers, because it makes me smile, that's why. Now a little news from the home front, and by that I mean mine. Today Today, in our Tiger region, construction of natural gas plants were finalized. Champagne bottles were broken, and the on button was clicked. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pandi, what the heck? Petrochems? I thought you were all about zero emissions. Well, you're right. Technically, this is not carbon-neutral technology. It's carbon-negative technology. Let me explain. These plants run on methane and hydrogen natural gas, and are completely molecularly sealed so the resulting carbon gases can't escape. Through the use of a process called the Sabatier reaction, we can force those carbon emissions to become methane once more and burn them again. The only resulting waste from this is water vapor, which can be subjected to electrolysis generated by the plant itself for additional hydrogen. This plant can literally run on carbon dioxide exhalations and hydrogen, which we have in abundance because of our deuterium straining operations. So, not only can this generate a pretty hefty amount of power, it can turn back the clock on climate change, which Super Earth does suffer from. Badly. They're going through a bit of a heat wave that is so extreme that, geez, the last time that things were this hot were when the Illuminate were actually trying to set the planet on fire. In light of that, I am making the plans for these Sabatier natural gas reactors available to the Ministry of Prosperity for the low price of 1 super credit. Will they actually build any of these things? Who can really say? But I did just give them the keys to generate reliable zero-emission green energy on the cheap. It's up to them to take it. You do have an abundance of glassed worlds rich in ash and carbon that would serve as ideal testing grounds for my little invention. See how they do under adverse conditions. Let me know how it goes. This is the exact reason why I never liked an over-reliance on E710. There are so many other means of generating energy staring you in the face, but you never stop to consider any of them because, hey, shoot a bug. There are other ways, my friends. But that's been Liberty's latest with me, Pandera the Radio Angel. We'll see you where we are tomorrow morning with our donation drive, and I expect a brand new major order bright and early. Though, we might also see a free day until a potential secondary update on Thursday. We'll see what we get, and may democracy speed our step. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for the children.